Alright, well, let's start again. I have my coffee, I have my sketchbook, and hopefully my voice is ready for this. This is a really thick sketchbook. It has a year and a half of my work in it, almost 2 years, as you can see. I finished it a few days ago, a week ago maybe, something like that. Last night I had a live stream showing everything inside of here, but let's go through it once more to have it all documented for everybody who did not see the stream. Let's get into it. Here is the first page. Actually, on the stream I realized I hadn't written the finish date down here, and I still haven't found the right marker that I used for the cover page, first page, so it's in pencil right now. Here I have an empty spread. I probably wanted to do something here as well, like, you know, the introductory page into the journal, but essentially here is where I sketched the cover idea, just how to space it out on here, and the first spread that I just showed. It's definitely good to see that I have improved somewhere. I can see a lot of mistakes here, but I'm still really proud of that. It was the first cover spread that I did like this, I think. No, actually, I did it on my previous sketchbook as well. But here's the first thing I actually drew. I think I did this before I even did the cover spread. Architecture, interior design, that's what I'm into. I have a floor plan for a dual house living space. So essentially it's a house for 2 separate families. Yeah. The floor plans are pretty much the same. Kind of same spaces, just a bit of different orientation. They're furnished, and here I have the house design for the same floor plans. I really like that. I was so proud of this, and I like how you can see them base sketches behind here. I didn't erase it or color over it. After that, here is some random sketches that I did, and here is actually from, what year was it? 23. That was the only Inktober day that I did on that year, and I have no idea what the prompt was. But yeah, that's the only Inktober thing I did that year. This year I actually did, so last year, 24, I actually did the whole month of Inktober on the given days, and I was so proud of it, and it's all posted on my Instagram as well. Ellie's Art Showcase, if you want to go look that up. But yeah, here... yeah, another floor plan. I wanted to do a house sketch for that as well from outside, but I never did that for some reason. More floor plans. This actually is an apartment building, so here, that's the first floor. I didn't do the second floor's floor plan because it's pretty much the same, or the apartments are the same, it's just the second floor. So then I made the outside sketch again. I'm kinda not sure about the colors, but I wanted to try it, and I really like the tucked-in balconies. But yeah, otherwise it's a good sketch. I like it. I like how I have studied perspective for the house sketches, wherever this was again. Yeah, it really pushed me out of the zone that I knew. I had done perspective in elementary school once, but yeah, I'm getting there. Here I was in a drawing slump for a while. I hadn't drawn for a while. So here I was just kind of sitting in my room, drawing my mood, and hopefully is it reflective? Can you guys see it? Shouldn't be too bad. Yep, you guys can see it. Had to get up and check. And here I didn't draw again for a while, and then I got myself this little bookshelf thingy, since my room is really small. I could attach it to my desk. I still have it on the side here, but I was just drawing whatever I saw in my room, and I got a little table thing for my bed because I like to draw out of my bed. So yeah, here I was in classes. This is around the time when I started posting my sketchbook on Instagram as well, so just some class doodles. A very goofy cat. More class doodles. You can see I really enjoyed my classes. Poor me. And this one actually I really liked. I drew it digitally as well. I don't think I have shown it anywhere, but I can find it if needed. Here is a bit of interior design. I was just kind of feeling drawing something. Here are different small sketches of rooms. So kind of like a view of a living room and a kitchen and like a cat play space if you have a free room in your house. Rich people problems, I guess. And then here is a hallway or like entrance area, and that's what I ended up going with. Here I got new washi tapes for everybody who doesn't know. Let me dig them out. I was in America, and when I came back from there to Estonia, I left my organizer into my boyfriend's family house. So now I have all my washi tapes in this little bag. Yeah, this little bag. And it's not going to run out anytime soon, probably. I don't have to worry about that. Though, you know, when you use them and you see that the roll is ending and you know that you can't get those washi tapes anymore, it's kind of sad and you don't want to finish that washi tape roll. But yeah, here I was just sketching people. This was my history teacher at the time, Estonian teacher, my gym friend, my father, me, and my boyfriend. Let's keep going. Here I didn't draw for a while again, so those are just random sketches. Before my America trip, I was selling some of my markers because I had so many. And yeah, I won't get into it, but I was selling my markers. Here is more sketches from video calls with my boyfriend. He had a cat with him. Here is me with my cat home. I really like cats, if anybody hasn't noticed that. I like dogs too. I have a German Shepherd at my grandparents' place. He's actually a mix of the Shepherd and the Husky, so yeah, anyway. I was enjoying my classes again, obviously. I really like the cat though. I have no idea how it's related to the burning school one, but I like it. Oh, okay. Here is the first, I remember being really enthusiastic about this space design. It's essentially a shared office space. So you can work in one room and whoever you live with or work with is in the other room next to you. It has an open pathway between the rooms, as you can see. And there is, between the desks, there is a small window. So you can, for whatever reason, stare at each other while you're working. About the office space though, yeah, I'm not too fond of that black desk. I feel like I like black as a color and as furniture. I like also wood, but I should have stuck to one and just made all the furniture either black or out of wood. Yeah, but oh well, can fix that later in the future. Maybe if I get the house and I have space to make such a room, I can do it differently. But yeah, I was trying a lot of different color combinations for it. And here I was actually sketching out the view of that window between the two offices to kind of, because it's a cool concept and I wanted to show it off. I should have stuck with this viewpoint from outside, something interesting, not just a point on view of the window, but that's what I went with. And it doesn't look bad. It gives the point. And here it's a bit better too because you don't see the other furniture in this area of the office, so the black desk is kind of fine and it matches the colors, and the other office can look different, doesn't matter. But yeah, of course a cat again. For some reason, for a few days, I remember, I was into My Little Pony again, so here is this, enjoy. Here I was just sketching again. I know this one was from an Estonian class. We were watching an Estonian movie that I had seen already, so I was kind of bored and I was trying to give off that farm life vibe. And a toothless is actually, How to Train a Dragon is a big thing for me, and it's quite surprising that this is the first toothless you see in this sketchbook. We are so much through already, and that's the first toothless in here. But yeah, there was a joke in art school when I was there that my teachers would tell that they know right away which drawings are mine because I have a toothless in each of my drawings. So yeah, it's surprising. But here is from That's Not My Neighbor, the milkman. Everybody knows him, of course. I was just watching somebody play it and I was drawing at the same time. And here are some drawings from realistic pictures. This one is better. Oh, color pencils. Okay, wait. I'm talking too much. Let me take a sip. Good for my voice. Okay, so color pencils. I haven't used pencils for so long. I think here either or neither. I used it. I was so proud of it. I was so happy with it. Also, the character is from Genshin Impact, Risley. I'm still obsessed with him. I like his backstory and everything, but that's besides the point. Color pencil. I should use them more. I love using them. It's just the hustle of getting them out and finding the right colors. But I love it so much. I should make another pencil illustration at some point. And here is the other page. That's fine. Just take this bit of here. That's the best looking, and maybe the hand here, but skip everything else. I like this one as well, not for the proportions or just not the anatomy and stuff, but it gives the point of his backstory, and I really like it. It's a dark backstory and it's a sad backstory, and it's a vibe. I like it. It's sad and it gets me thinking. And here Risley is a boxer as well, so here you go, a scene. Can I get a sponsor from Genshin now? And I hadn't drawn for a while again. I just drew whatever I felt comfortable with. Here are two. That hand arm is throwing me off a bit. I'm glad I know I can draw it better now, but it's cover the hand. It's still a great sketch. I like the lighting and stuff. And here I was just drawing some poses. I like the movement in here. The hands here are too far apart to protect yourself. Oh well, I know it now. And yeah, that's a bit stiff, but I really like the movement in here. The most hated page of this sketchbook. Like, what is this dude here? If you take this one out, it's better. It's fine. But for some reason this really ruins it for me. Here I was trying to just do a bit different face shapes from what I usually do. I always have like those soft cheeks with a sharp jaw. So I was trying to change that a bit. Essentially that's supposed to be the same character, just younger and older. Okay, let me cover this up a bit. I won't stop here for a while. I wanted to write a book. I have the draft of it. That would be a character out of that book. So yeah, maybe we'll get back to that someday if I actually ever finish the book. But here I was on my graduation trip to Turkey with my class, and I was just kind of drawing the vibes I was getting from that Turkey trip. And here this was from the same trip, different vibes. That was a late night drawing. Here a bit more of the book, just cover ideas. Not too understandable, but it's here. I understand it, that's what matters. And here is, I mean, I had a tattoo obsession for a while already. I'm still waiting on it. I have actually found a tattoo artist in Estonia that I'd want to get a tattoo from, but essentially I wanted a sleeve for a while, a half sleeve kind of thing. So up to half of the biceps from the wrist. And I was thinking of a shoulder tattoo, but that's kind of on the back plan now, because at some point, let's skip ahead a bit, I drew this thing, an inspiration from a book that I was reading, and I kind of gave that dude knuckle tattoos, and I drew it onto my hand, and I kept it on my hand for like 3 weeks, and I really want that as well. But the thing with this, I couldn't visualize how to put the tattoo wrapping around the arm on a 2D space, on a flat space. So I actually, with watercolors, because I thought I was going to wash it off right after, I drew like the swirl around my forearm, and I ended up making a really detailed tattoo with watercolors on my arm. I did it till 5 a.m. in the morning, all night, and I kept hairspraying it for days, and I just kept it on my arm, and I never threw it into the sketchbook because I spent so much time drawing it onto my arm, and then I was busy preserving it and showing it off and going to gym with it and everything. And then essentially one day I had to shower and wash it off, and then I was so sad, but I have pictures of it still. I'll put them somewhere over the screen. Here, you can see it. Tattoo. And here, this was I was on a small trip with my gym friends before I went to the US, kind of a farewell trip for a bit, and everybody was sleeping in the hotel room and I was just drawing at night. This dude is a bit stiff, this arm is a bit weird, but otherwise I really like this spread, and I'm glad I know how to do these things differently now. Same thing here, I was staying over at my cousin's place before going to the US. A kind of a farewell sleepover, and he was designing his VR chat character and I was drawing his character as he designed him. So here's this, and of course more washi tapes. Oh yeah, the book where I got inspiration for the knuckle tattoo from is actually this, but I brought it out to show just that I like taping my book's edges with the washi tapes, kind of to protect the edges of the books and still keep the cover. And the washi tapes, you know, you can find matching ones for the covers. And here I got new washi tapes for the Anna Huang King of Sin series books to kind of match the covers. But yeah. And here I was on a family farewell trip before the US trip. I was on an island in Estonia. Here are some drinks that we ordered. I really like boba drinks and matcha teas. And on the island there is a castle, so we were sitting in a cafe during the day. I was kind of quickly sketching with pencils the scene. Here is the castle walls, and behind the trees inside of the walls there is the castle, and bridges and birds and all the greenery. I have no idea what this is. I don't care about it. It's here. I like the dragon sketch here. Sad I never finished it. But this is already in the US. So the first thing that I did in the US was designing another house. So here are the floor plans. Here is the sketch of the outside of the house. A window idea that you can kind of fold outside and have like a leaning space to sit on while looking outside of the sides. Here is the design itself. So floor plans, I didn't furnish these. I did write though that here would be like hard floor and carpet and tiles and yeah, so on. But here the thing that I really like is like the porch area that is covered and tucked into the house. I really like those little like tucked in corners and stuff, and I like the colors, and it's a cool idea. Again, I like it. And here's the front of the house. It's like this little front area that is brought out, and then just a cube rectangle behind it. I really need to improve at making more interesting house shapes, which I have more of in here, so I have improved. I got a few more washi tapes in the US. I was testing the markers, trying to just loosen up my hands, because I actually got my boyfriend got me another 320 marker set of Ohuhu markers in America as well, so I wouldn't have to carry my set from Estonia to there and to take it through the customs and stuff, because they are alcohol markers and things like, you know, these markers. So yeah, now I have 2 sets and I don't have to carry them across the world every time, so I'm really happy for that. Here I didn't draw again for a while. I was just doing a bit of perspective, I guess, drawing whatever was on my table. You can see how much I love doing it. Definitely not sarcastic there, and my voice is dying, excuse me. I'm not used to talking to this much, and it's a thick sketchbook and I don't want to waste like hours of your time, so I'm trying to speed through it fast for the sake of the video. Here, again, Genshin. I really like Genshin. though I don't paint as much anymore myself. But I keep an eye on it and on the story that is still ongoing and coming out, and I play it for the story mostly right now. But here's Kave, he's an architect, so of course I like him. And he's a bit of a struggling architect with money and stuff, so it's a bit of a relatable topic because I don't have the money to go study architecture. Yeah, but here's this. I really like him. I like this corner one, and I like this. I forgot them what they're called, like fungus or whatever fungus they are in the game. I love it. And the sun came out, and now you can see my shadow. Okay, anyway, let's try to stay out. Another sketchy thing that I made for a house design, this actually has that out of square look that I'm always stuck with. Essentially there is another tucked in porch in here, and this is an house apartment for like 2 families again. So it's split in the middle. One side of the house is for one family and one is for another, and the porch area is shared, or if you want you can build a wall between there if you really hate the person you're sharing the apartment complex with. Inspired from a book I was probably reading. I do not love the anatomy in here. It is terrible, but you can see I started a new book because I probably discovered that it still had the price tags on it, so I peeled those off. Here I tested the paint pen for decorating my boyfriend's sister's wedding gifts. So, and here we were on the drive through a couple of states to the wedding. That was like a 12-hour drive. So here I drew in the car. I had no references. I do not love this, but I like the snake idea that is going on behind here, and I'm actually quite fond of that, like peacock. I really like peacocks. But yeah. Food page that I never finished, and here is the Inktober. I won't stay on that for too long, but it's the first Inktober that I did from start to finish. On each given day I did the given prompt, and I'm so proud of that. Yeah, first day backpacks, second day discovery. I hate this one the most out of all the Inktober days, and my voice is breaking again. It just looks like I went back 5 years in my art progress. I don't know what happened here. But the boots one was the one that I loved the most at first. Has all those little details and stuff. And even before I added the textures and things, I was so happy with it. I have so many progress photos of it. Right now when I look at it, I think the only thing that I could change is make the floor of the boot store darker to give it a bit more depth, but otherwise, you know, you can't make fine line drawings too complicated. Another spread that I love, here is exotic. I did some marine life and binoculars. My English isn't as good with new words, it's a hard word, but essentially a birdie and a snake, and you can kind of see in the close-up reflection of the binoculars that the snake is staring at his food. There is some eggs here, and the birdie is looking at the flower. Yeah, it's cute. I love it. Then day 6, a trek, kind of like myself a bit in here. So kind of the past behind. I was struggling with art for a bit, and school and grades are a tough topic for me. And different things from my past and my childhood cat, and now I'm here picking off my art again. And here's my current cat, and a bit of growth and a flower, and there hopefully is the nicer future and a starry night, because I like nights and stars, and that's when I'm most productive. I'm a night owl. Passport, here's my passport. My stamps from the Turkey trip, my stamp from entering the US, the beach, a bit of the US trip, Eiffel Tower. I've not been to Paris, but I figured that's something that everybody would recognize. Some palm trees, a bit of more of New York City, and for some reason a small Iron Man because the freedom to travel, I guess. Hike, a dog that has gotten loose from its owner's grip, a squirrel, because there were squirrels everywhere in the US where I was, and every time I would point out, like, look, a squirrel, because we don't have them on streets like this in Estonia. We do have them in forests, and I know what the squirrel looks like. We have them at my cottage as well. But yeah, sun, I took the tangled sunflower and the tangled sun theme and just put them together. I think it's a neat, nice illustration. It could be a tattoo if that's your vibe. Romantic, some camels and penguins traveling. Treats, I think the actual prompt was snacks, and I somehow twisted it into treats while I was drawing. But the idea is still the same, and here again is Toothless getting his fish stolen by a cat. My two to-go things together in one drawing. And now that I started with Toothless, then again there is Toothless. The theme was remote, so either something that is remote controllable, as many do that, but also remote as something that's away from the busy cities and civilization and just hidden away. And that's kind of what I did. So there is a hidden world again, where there's dragons, but also inside of here there is a few small cats as well, so it's a shared world. Here the theme was Horizon. The first thing that I thought of was the singer who did the work song and Too Sweet, and I'm sure everybody or most of us know who our Horizon is, but I didn't want to go for a person, and that probably wasn't the thing the Inktober team was thinking of, so I went for the Horizon line. Burning, ruins, a grave. I really like how I did the depth though of the foreground and background. I like the horizon sun, and I like how I tucked the word behind the illustration. I'm really fond of that idea. Rome. Let's bring that a bit closer. Hopefully it's in frame. I don't see the screen. The camera is high up, but I just drew the world map and all the places I've been to. So I'm from Estonia. I've been to Latvia, Finland, Sweden, Germany. Though in Germany I've mostly stopped to go on to other flights to other places. I haven't actually roamed around Germany, but I've been there. And I want to go to roam around there once. Cyprus, Bulgaria, Spain. Spain was study trip, a class trip. Turkey, USA, I didn't put the different states that I've been there. And we did crossover by the Niagara Falls to Canada as well for a day, so I can put Canada on my list as well. Guidebook, I wasn't too fond of that, but I didn't also want to do dragons again, so I kind of did a cave with mushrooms. I drew 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-ish mushrooms, out of at least 7 are real mushrooms from a reference, and then I made up this big mushroom. And then back here there is a little mushroom creature as well, and I did put a page with the dragon or some kind of lizard egg in here, but yeah. I'm stopping too long on this. Crunchy, an alleyway in the city where the buildings themselves on the front are pretty, and then between the buildings there is everything, yeah, trash and graffiti and everything. And back here somebody is not alive anymore behind the trash can. Or rubbish bin, or whatever you call that. Journal, another thing that I didn't feel really inspired by. I have my own journal that I was making at the time. This thing, my 2025 journal. And something few, I don't know what, I'll look at it later. So yeah, I just drew my desk, added a drawer to there because I wish there would be a drawer there. My chair, my sticky notes, and my journal. Here the word was something else again. It wasn't right, but something similar meaning again. And here I just made Santa flying over the city because I was in a Christmassy mood already. I was listening to Christmas music, okay, in October, don't judge me. And the Santa is giving a ride to a very shocked cat because, you know, that happens all the time. Reach, a dragon trapped between two cliffs or whatever slip in the ground you would call that. Chained in, kind of. I was really proud of it. It is a bit of a busy illustration. You have to look at it for a while to really see all the details, but yeah. It is interesting when you stay and stare at it. Uncharted, something I'd be more happy with if I didn't do this middle guy here. Rhinoceros? A rhino? Yeah, in a fine china store, because you know the saying like an elephant in fine china store or something like that. I really don't know how to translate it to English, but everybody knows the saying. So instead I put the rhino in the fine china store, and I'm so proud of it. I learned how to draw a rhino for this illustration, and it's looking so nice, and I like the depth in it, even though there isn't much to the illustration essentially. Camp, quick story. In my cottage I used to camp out in a tent, even though I had my own bedroom, not my own bedroom, but my bed. And I still used to camp out in a tent, and every morning my childhood captain would wake me up around sunrise by jumping onto the tent, and the tent would collapse onto me, and that's always what woke me up. So there is that. Rust, I was into Real Steel. I had just recently watched the movie, and here is like Atom and Ambush's leg and Noisy Boy's head and stuff, you know, all the essential things from the movie. But I didn't like the proportions of it. Like, you can see the legs here should belong and stuff. But I also spent so much time on it, and I liked the idea, so I didn't want to erase it, but I also had counted the days or pages that I needed for Inktober, and I had illustrations beyond that already, so I had to skip a few pages, and I did the Rust one a bit later into the sketchbook. And here's that. That's what I'm proud of again. I like how I made the metal rusting a bit already, the face coming apart and stuff, but I like it. I'm proud of it. Expedition in Antarctica, or the other way around, a polar bear, people noticing the polar bear, a scarecrow, a camera, nothing too interesting here, a road, again, kind of in a desert, some dude with his broken down car again, you can really see the despair on his face. And theme here was Jumbo, so I just essentially made a big exhausted wolf carrying the weight of the world and walking around the sun on the stars. Navigator, your essential normal Google Maps, and the split road and the pressure of a car behind you, so you have to make a fast decision. What is the right way to turn? Violin, the idea was like somebody standing on a rainy street, and then you can see from the reflection of a bottle that he is playing the violin. The feet or legs should be more like tilted to give the idea of the guy standing up, not lying on the ground. But at least there is the shadow under there, so if you don't think too much about it, then at first glance it gives the idea, and it's the wow effect. The dots took so long, even my boyfriend helped me with the dots because I was doing it late at night and my wrists were getting tired. The last thing of Inktober was a landmark, and here this is kind of an idea that's been always in my mind because my childhood cat was like the inspiration for my imagination and stuff, and I had a wild imagination, so I kind of made a statue for her. And then I like dragons, of course, and how to train a dragon was a big thing, so I made her into a Night Fury. You can kind of see the same fur pattern going in on scales here, and then just some other bigger mystical creature kind of vibe behind here. And then I made, I don't know how those planets are hovering around the statue. Don't ask me for the logistics, but I made different planets and worlds because I had Transformers, I had My Hero Academia, I had random cartoons, I had dragons, I had cats, I had everything, and they were all so mixed up and different, and I just made different worlds from them, and then my cat is kind of looking after all of those. I didn't put the title here for the landmark. I did edit the title into here when I posted it on Instagram, but I kind of left it empty for when I feel like maybe I have a perfect title for this statue. So here is the floor plan and the outside house design for whatever building sketch I had before Inktober there. Essentially the first floor of the shared apartment house thingy, the entryway, the living room area, a bathroom kind of thing, kitchen. Under here, under the stairs, would be a pantry, and then the shared porch area. The other side is the same thing, just mirrored. My tongue is getting tied. And then the second floor, also mirrored. No, this isn't mirrored. This is just taken copy-paste both sides. But yeah, you get your little lobby area here. You can put bookshelves and stuff. And here is another lobby area connected with a small pathway between the bathroom and an office space if you want. And then back here is the bedroom, and over here it's the same thing. So yeah, and here like behind you can see like the tucked in big porch area again that you can share, or if you hate your partner that much you can build a wall between here and you have your separate porches. Yeah. A new washi tape. I didn't draw for a while again, so I pulled 4 random colors and designed a random character. I really like those pyjama pants, and I like the freckles. I don't know how much you can see the freckles here. Like, this guy has a bit of freckles on his face and on his shoulders. I really like that. My voice. Can you see that I'm a quiet person normally? Okay. I was on the porch of the house in the US, and I was drawing the house from across the street. I really like the trees behind the house, so that's essentially why I drew it. Here's Inktober. Here is another drawing of my cat. I'm not too fond of that one. I feel like the slope of the neck comes too soon, or the armpit goes too fast here, but yeah, you still get the idea. I like the Christmas decoration. can be covered, and the lights and stuff, but yeah. I was watching TV and drawing some cactuses, just the background. I was making Christmas cards. I printed copies for myself as well. I don't have them by hand right now. I'll put them on the screen. You can see the finished Christmas cards. But I made one for my grandpa and for my uncle, and sent them off to Estonia because I did spend Christmas in the US with my boyfriend's family. Then here I was putting Christmas lights up to my room in the US. You can see that. There is pictures of the finished room. Again, here you go. How the lights were up. I was just reading books again and drawing the vibe I was getting. Just some businessy, military, trained billionaire guys doing their things, being themselves. A bit of action, I don't know. I do like the spread though. I'm upset I started with pen and then I didn't feel too sure in myself anymore, and I went to markers, and now I'm just upset about that one random line here, but I still love the page. It's a good vibe. Here I was having a different kind of vibe, a demonic cat. Oh yeah. Oh well. That's a vibe. And here was one of the family's cats, Loki, playing with his fishy, and I was working in the living room with my boyfriend. my tongue got tight. And I was drawing my boyfriend working in the living room. Yeah. So in the US, I made a wall mural. Yeah. And because the family allowed me to, and they wanted me to, and I wanted to too. The family's mother liked the flowers. I liked the dragon, of course. I actually like this too, but that would have been a huge wall to cover, and there was like a slanted or angled wall between, like in a corner, so that's where there was a tall, thin, narrow, angled wall, and that's where I made this one too. I can put pictures here again. But yeah, the whole process and time lapses and stuff are on my Instagram as well. And here we go again, Toothless. Look at this wholesome dude. Ah, he's so cute. And here I was making some cover photos for my Instagram, like highlights. A bit of animal study, a tiger, an elephant, and all. Demonic cat. No, she's cute. He, she, whoever. And a tiny frog, because why not? Here, yeah, I didn't skip. Here I was designing the inside of the journal, because, sneak peek, because US paper sizes are different for some reason, and so I had to calculate all the squares again, and I had to do all that. Usually in Estonia, when I get my new journals, it doesn't take as long anymore because I did all the calculations on my first journal, and I could always just go back to those numbers and change them and use them, but I had to do that all over again. That took over a week. Here I pulled 3 random words from Google: circle, quiet, and however you pronounce this word. And I just made what I could with those words. Here was a drawing that I didn't like, so I cut it out and put it over here, and that was kind of a mood too, and I won't stay on that for long. Alistair. So here is when the kind of like, I don't know, I don't think it's an official song for Has-Been Hotel, but just the song for Alistair, Daisies, came out, and I was listening to it for days, and so I finally gave in and made an Alistair illustration. I left this space empty. I didn't want to ruin it, or I thought I was going to add more to it. I didn't, obviously, but yeah. And I posted it on Instagram, and the actual artist of the song liked it too, so that was a really proud moment. But I really love this drawing, it's so cute. Here I was doing reading sprints, just short 30-minute reading sessions with friends, and then we drew scenes of what we had just read. Here I was reading Hunting Adeline. Just a scene from that. Here is the wall mural. So that was the final design that went onto the wall, as you saw. And I did watch the colors onto the page here too, just so I'd have something to bring back with me from the mural, because I obviously can't take the wall with me. Essentially, the whole process took 10 days. I think I painted for like 6 or 7, and then the other 4 or 3 days I edited the time lapses for my socials, because you need to keep the posts going to be seen, sadly. Another reading sprint. Here I was back in Estonia already. This space was empty for a while, but essentially when I was out with my cousin eating at the cafe and drawing, he wanted help a bit with proportions and stuff, so I did that. And then later on someday I also helped with expressions and stuff for his GB style, so yeah. But here is my room's redesign. It all started from kind of desk, because my room is small and I wanted to save space, but right now my desk is facing the wall, but I like facing out of the window, looking. I'm on the 5th floor, so looking at the city and stuff. And so I kind of had the idea of a window, or like of a table that is, if I had a bigger bed, it would be from wall to wall under the window. And then I'd like a fold desk that you can fold up to the wall, but also you can disconnect it from the further hinge and turn it to the window if you wanted. So you can be also looking out of the window, sitting on the bed and working. So yeah, that was essentially the idea. And then I designed the rest of the room from that. And that's actually the first live stream drawing that I did, was this thing. So I made this square or rectangular thing of the room to have a better viewpoint. I like it, but wasn't too fond of it. So that's the first thing I did on stream, on a live stream. A small cube of a room. I actually wanted to do it in the sketchbook, but then I realized that if I use markers here, it's going to bleed through onto this illustration and on the other side, yeah. I did a lot of measuring, real measurements from my room, and I figured out what my custom furniture sizes would be. And then I did a lot of calculations from real sizes to the drawing proportions and stuff, so it took a long time, but I like the details I put into my work, and it just gives the feel. You can look at it and that would be the finished thing, and you just, it's a proud feeling, okay. Then here I was just out with my cousin again, got new highlighters, drew a bit. I don't like this guy behind here, but here's Brisley again, a scar. This looks nice. So here is the hand design. The idea I got from this book again, Letter in Lark. Essentially there is the Kaila clan who has a missing fingertip, and it was just explaining how he was holding a whiskey glass and tapping his rings against the glass and stuff. And they did mention that he has knuckle tattoos. They didn't mention what they were like though. So I kind of took the liberty to make up my own knuckle tattoos, and those I did draw onto my hand. I had them on my hand for a while. Here's the pictures again. I talked a bit about it already. But the fun, or not fun, it is sad, but also a fun coincidence that my father is missing a bit more. He has only like to the first joint, but he's missing 2/3 of his finger on the index finger on the same hand as well. So it was kind of, I was reading it and I was like, wait, I can actually imagine, I've seen it. And it was just a moment of recognition. Yeah. It's just an interesting thought. Brisley again, some sketches again. I did this side first again to kind of keep myself sketching every day a bit. This guy and this sassy little fur-line creature here. And then the other day I did Risley and the other fur-line creature friend. They're having a spa day together. Here we were out celebrating my father's birthday. We were waiting at the tavern for him to join us, and I was just doing space designs. And here is the peak of this sketchbook. I'm so proud of it. I'm so sad that it's at the end of this sketchbook and I won't be seeing it again since I'm closing this and putting it on my shelf and starting a new sketchbook. And I'm so sad that I see it for so little while, but oh my god, this is so beautiful. I love it so much. Essentially a private basement bar design for the rich. So just, I couldn't decide how to draw it. I made a portrait and I made a landscape view of it. And I'm so happy with it. And I'm so sad that it's at the end of the sketchbook. Oh, I love it so much. Just the spread, you look at it and it's so full and the colors match and it's beautiful. But yeah, essentially black marble and, what is it then? Amber? No, not amber. Oh, am I stupid? Let me, I'm, God, what? What? Wait. What's the thing? Emeralds. There's emeralds in Minecraft. There we go. That's where I got it from. Emeralds. So, yeah. Let's scrap that. I didn't struggle at all. Forget that. Black marble and emerald bar design with silver details and leather armchairs and stuff. And here at the end I added a little whiskey glass. So I glued it on here. I was like, it needs a whiskey glass. So I glued it on here. It's loose. You can twist it and stuff. It's like fun, and you could take it off if I wanted to. But yeah. I love it so much, and I'm so sad I have to, if I want to look at it, I have to take my sketchbook from the shelf and open it again. Like, this has so much history already, and it's sad because now whenever I open the next sketchbook, let's not bend this, please. The next sketchbook, I won't have that history to look at. Like, I open this and there is nothing up forth, and it's sad because sometimes the history above here, from beyond here, what you have drawn already, is for inspiration, you know, when you're in a bit of a slump. But yeah, there is that. Goodbye those memories. I'm so proud of this sketchbook. I'm so sad for the sketchbook. I love it. Let's stick that back onto the shelf. And so far in here, this sketchbook has already struggled a bit. The cover is a bit damaged. I need more stickers. But I haven't made the first spread yet. I have to work on that. I did make the sketches, and I had a vote on my Instagram for which one of these would be the first cover spread. I thought I want to draw onto the hardcover as well, like have a whole big spread, like kind of like the last spread in the previous sketchbook was, just have a full illustration here. I think if done good and with no annoying mistakes that are out of my control, it would look amazing. So at some point, someday, maybe on a live stream again, I will start and finish that first spread. Here I tried for the last sketch in the previous sketchbook, the bar design. For the mirror behind the bar, I was out of space in that sketchbook already, so I was testing markers and seeing how I could get the mirror effect back there, and I was contemplating if to put the white gel pen over the black marble tiles, but I thought it would be too busy for that, so yeah. And here one night I drew this dancing pose, and the next day, when I was out with my cousin again, I completed the full twirl or swirl or whatever you do in a dance. So here is one side view, the behind view from the girl doing a dip, then the other side view, and then the behind view from the guy. And that completes a whole spin. Here a sneak peek, nothing for long, you saw it. Okay, whatever. A few stickers. I want to design stickers for my laptop, and I have a sticker making machine now. You can actually get stickers made by me and shipped by me now, not only designs, and then you'd have to find a way to get them physically yourself, so that's a new now, but just sticker designs for my laptop. And since I really like the basement bar design, I started designing a house for it. I won't go into the logistics of the layout right now, but basically the basement bar, next to it is utilities and like just water boilers and stuff. Above that is a workshop, and next to it is a separate shop area where it displays stuff and so on. On top of the shop there is no water floors, but on top of the workshop there is the living space, the common area where there is the kitchen and living room and stuff, and above that on the third floor there are bedrooms and stuff. And from the common area you can go on to a balcony area that is on top of the display shop box. Here I was last weekend on a Sweden trip to Stockholm. It was a cruise on the... Okay, I'll skip ahead. On the cruise there was a Estonian band called Terminator that I really love, and they were performing. So the first night I was just vibing in the crowd and rocking with them and taking pictures, and then the second morning on the trip I took the pictures I had and kind of mixed them together and made this picture where they all are here together, the band members. Duff is one of the guitar players. Hanno. He's the bass player. Rene plays the keyboard. This guy here played on the drums, and this was the last guy that I got the autograph from, because the night when I was sketching them, he was already in his whatever rooms those are in cruise ships. And that is, of course, Jakub, the lead singer. And I got all the autographs eventually. The last morning on the ship, I saw Duff again, and I caught him, and I was like, is this guy available now? And he went looking for him, and I actually got his autograph as well. And now I have them all, and I'm so proud of this. The autograph, the drawing, the 2 nights of rocking on the cruise ship, it was amazing. And I love this. Oh, look at this sketch. It's just a sketch, and it's amazing. I love it so much. But anyway, during the day, between the 2 cruise nights, we went to Stockholm, we went on to land from the ship. We had like 7 hours before the cruise ship would go back to Estonia. And there I was with my family, so I couldn't sit down and draw as much as I wanted to. But eventually I got an hour to sit down in a park, and I drew a bit of the palace buildings and a statue in the park. It was a tall statue, so I couldn't... I miscalculated the proportions a bit, so I only got the top part of the statue. So you can see the clouds behind it and a bit of a church behind it, the roof and tree tops and stuff. But at the base of the statue, actually, in each corner, there were some interesting like pearls or something like that. And they were connected by this interesting chain that kind of had spikes between the links. I really liked the chain. But yeah. And that's all I have in this amazing sketchbook right now. Last night on stream I did test out some markers that I got yesterday when I was in the capital of Estonia time. Here is those like I think it's, and this one, yeah, 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6. Hello, is it 6? It is 6. I have 5 here. What? Oh, this one too. Yep, here we go. So yeah, here are these, and I did get myself a new mechanical pencil and a bit of lead. I actually wanted to get a B, and I noticed at home that it's a HB, but it's still good. At least it's a stronger lead, not a softer one. I really hate the softer ones. But yeah, so that's what I have in my sketchbook right now, and that's where I'm going with it. Thank you for coming along and looking at this journey. I have obviously 3 more sketchbooks before this one, so they're really old though, and they have my childish drawings in there. But if anybody's interested, I might do a tour for those as well at some point, so just let me know. But thank you for looking at this journey with me and appreciating it with me and seeing my improvements. I'm happy to see what I did almost 2 years ago, and then the end page of this sketchbook. It's amazing. I can't get over it. I can't close it. Here we go. That's the final. That's what you have to remember from this sketchbook. And I'll see you again next time. Bye.